Hello, welcome once again. You are on the Spotlight Show. I am your host. My name is Jebez Napoleon Ogbole. I'm very happy to spend this evening with you. And because we are live right now online, we have viewers from across the globe. So please, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, wherever you may be watching us live from your homes, from your car, from your mobile devices. We're very happy to have you. Today's episode is going to be very interesting. It's something that is very, very dear to my heart and yours as well. We people of African descent, it's about time that we take control of our own narrative. So I want to thank you once again. And please, if you have friends and family, tell them about the show, invite them, share. And remember, we are live right now on YouTube, on our network. And GBKM TV is our YouTube channel. You can find us on YouTube and Facebook and also Instagram. Instagram is at GBKMFM. So please, you can also check out our network. We are coming to you, to your homes, to your phone, to your tablets, live from the city of Toronto, from the GBKM studio. So thank you once again for joining us. And like I said, remember, check out our network on our webpage on www.gbkm.fm. Thank you once again for joining me. Today is a very interesting show, and like I have said before, the Spotlight Show is about me and you, where we can discuss topics of interest that affects us, even those of us back in the continent and those of us all across the globe in the diaspora. Welcome once again. If you're just joining us, I'm happy to have you, and please to tell your friends and family about this program. Share the wonderful information that we provide. And please do not be selfish. Information is power. So the more we become aware, the better off we are. Thank you so much. And of course, this show is made possible by viewers like you from the various contributions and support that we get. I want to do a special shout out to those that made this possible. And to Africa's Young Entrepreneur, acronym AYE. Find them online on www.ayeonline.org. It's a non-for-profit organization based out of Johannesburg in South Africa. It's a wonderful organization and they're doing great things. You know, it's a young network of entrepreneurs. They are in over 19 countries and they are expanding. They provide intra-trade among Africans. It's been wonderful. I've been to their seminars in Africa and I've seen some of the products that they do. Check them out on their website. They have a new platform. It's called the AYE Trust. Beautiful. Okay. And not only that, we have Imani's Place. Imani's Place is a wonderful shelter, like I said. And I always continue to advocate. Is black-led, owned by some wonderful women doing great things in the community here in Canada. It's a shelter for homeless women, people suffering from domestic violence, and of course, human trafficking, sex trafficking and all that. There's horrible things happening in the world, and these people have come together to provide an enabling environment for these young women, to get back to the society. They're doing amazing work. Please support them. Check them out. www.imanisplace.org. It's a wonderful place. Someone who's a victim of domestic violence, human trafficking, sex trafficking. Give them a call. Let them be able to participate from some of those programs that they are providing. And not only that, thanks as well to Pan-African Arts, Culture and Trade Institute based out of Toronto, here in Canada, doing amazing things. They are promoters of African cultures and talents. What they do is, they do seminars and try to facilitate inter-trade, between the continent and here in Canada. They do exhibitions and training as well. Check them out on www.pakati.org. Yes, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. What is today's topic? Today's topic is quite interesting, which me and you will benefit from. It's called, Does Africa Matter? I'm an African, I was raised out of Nigeria and West Africa. For every people of African descent out there in the diaspora, is a huge question that we need to ponder on. Does Africa matter? Why am I saying this? Stay tuned. We have so many facts and information to share with you, everyone at home today. And also want to quickly, make you relax and share some vital information with you, because we're in the world that we don't really know, what is going on, what is happening. So many countries are locking up their borders, so many, trade wars and so many restrictions. Something we haven't seen in a long time, in this century. And we see a lot of injustice. Sometimes I ask people, people are very comfortable being silent, others cannot. When you decide to stay silent in the face of injustice, my question is, are you part of that problem? We need to ask ourselves, we need to begin to ponder, we need to be able to think, analyze some of these, happenings in our environment. Let me take a quote from Martin Luther King Jr., who is a great civil rights leader. He's a very quotable person. He's done amazing things for the civil rights movement in America and for blacks as a whole. And one of my favorite quotes for this program says, "Nothing in all the world is more dangerous than sincere ignorance and consensual stupidity." You understand? Ignorance is not an excuse. Okay, you cannot break the law and say, you go to a court of law and say, "Judge, I wasn't aware that law existed." Ignorance is never an excuse. And, we should begin, with people of African descent, we should begin to ponder and begin to ask some of these questions. It's not everything that is documented that is actually factual. I always tell people, talk is cheap. Freedom of speech and expression, but you have to be very, very careful and analyze those information that you want to store in your mind, and those information that is useful to you. Why not keep it? And those that is not useful to you, let it filter away from your mind. So before we go into some of those data that I have for you, remember the Spotlight Show is all about facts. I'm here to give you facts so that way you can make informed decisions, and those informed decisions will benefit you, including myself, your community, and your country. So we want to be able to support everyone, all our viewers out there. We do the heavy lifting. We go in there, get some analysis, and we bring that to you. We get some special guests who are subject matter experts in their various fields, and they are able to explain certain things that we may not have the time to go find out, or we may not even know about, we may not be aware of. Okay, so we're going to look at some of those dangerous thought patterns, and the effect and remedy. The mind is a wonderful place. It's an engine room. From there, good and bad comes out. So please, we're going to go further and discuss about, does Africa really matter? For every people out there, the Caribbeans, in the diaspora, back in the continent, wherever you may be, let's ask ourselves that question: does Africa matter? And why am I asking that question? Why is that a topic for discussion today? Because it's time. It's about time that we begin to ask ourselves and begin to debate, agree to disagree on some of these issues that affect me and you. Okay, we're in the diaspora, by choice, and some of us are not here by choice, you understand? Because of the situations, be it security, economic, or otherwise. Because remember, man, we always move to a location that is conducive for a survivor. We human beings, we want to survive, and that's one of our greatest instinct, survival instinct. So please, stay tuned. When we come back, we're going to give you some of this wonderful data and some of this insight, and I'm going to share some vital information with you. And so please stay tuned. Do not go away. We're going to go on a quick break. And remember, you can't consume this information alone. Reach out to your friends, send out WhatsApp messages, Instagram messages, tell them about this program. Send out the channel on YouTube and Facebook. It's at GBKM TV, Instagram GBKM FM. So we'll be right back, and stay tuned.
Do you believe you could host an entertaining, engaging, and thoughtful weekly show? Or are you a business person or entrepreneur interested in building a brand for yourself? Can you connect with an audience and have strong social media skills? If so, the GBKM Network would love to invite you to join our team. We're looking for driven, genuine folks who are willing to work hard as an independent broadcaster. If this sounds like you, come join our team. For more information, email your resume to career@gbkm.fm. That is career, CAREER, at gbkm.fm. It's time to turn your passion into a career. Do you believe you could...
Welcome back. Yes, this is the Spotlight Show. I'm your host, Jabez Napoleon Ogbole, and we're broadcasting live from the GBKM network right here in Toronto, in Canada. So this is a live broadcast. You can join us on YouTube and Facebook at GBKM TV, and also on Instagram at GBKM FM. Like I said before, Tell your friends, your family, your loved one, even your haters. Let them know information is power. Let's begin to benefit ourselves. There's strength in numbers. And so thank you for taking time from your busy schedule. We know right now in the various parts of the world, some countries are in the daytime, some are in the nighttime. In Canada, yeah, it's just evening. Some countries back home in the continent are probably at night. And I'm very happy that you are able to join me and to be live here with me. And this show is going to be interactive. So please, as we share some of this information, if you have any question, if you have any comments, please send it there. Our team is actually here watching our channels, so you can send your comments on YouTube, GBKM TV, same thing on Facebook and Instagram. Okay, so do let us know what are your thoughts and some of those questions you have. And remember, I'm here for you. You are the reason for this show. If you have questions, you can reach out to me as well. You can reach me on my Instagram page. It's at Jaybes, JaygBes. Send me your questions, DM me. I'll be very happy to assist you in the best way I can. Okay, so like I said, this program is about me and you, how we can be able to discuss topics of interest that affects me and you, how we Africans and those in diaspora as well can be able to look at some of these issues that's affecting and impacting us in the diaspora in our home country as well. So remember, continue to check us out on our website, www.gbkm.tv. Remember, our network is a wonderful network. We're the mouthpiece of the community. We want to be able to give you information, not just from this show. We have a variety of programs on our site as well. And please go there, support us, and be able to share to your friends and family and everyone else that you believe will benefit from this information. So now let's talk about today's topic. Does Africa matter? And before we go in that, before I go into that topic of discussion, I want to whet your appetite. I have some very wonderful, I always like to give you fat. I love numbers, you understand? You can't deny the fact when you see it, you understand? No matter how you tell a lie, it becomes true for a while. But at the end of the day, fat matters, and that's why we're here, not to gossip and to always give you fat. I also want to encourage us with this data that just came out. I don't know, for those who are not aware, is a new Lancet report. Have you heard of the Lancet report? I'll tell you more about the Lancet report. It just came out this month of June. A wonderful report on fertility and population growth. I have a reason why I'm sharing this report with you. It aligns with the topic we are talking about. Let me tell you what Lancet is. Lancet is a weekly peer-reviewed general medical journal. It's among the world's oldest and best-known general medical journals. Okay, they publish original research articles, review articles, editorials, book reviews, correspondence, as well as news features and case reports. Okay, so this new report is on fertility, mortality, migration, and population scenarios for 195 countries. Well, let's say 195 countries. That's the entire countries in the world. Okay, 195 countries and territories. And the good thing about this report is, is the timeline from 2017 to 2100. So which is the beginning of the 22nd century. Okay, and it's such a wonderful report, and we want to give thanks to the funding. The report was made possible by the funding from Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. I want to give a shout out to them for some of the wonderful things they are doing. And let me share with you some of that report. It comes in the form of a bar chart, and we're going to speak to that shortly. Okay, as you can see, the 5 most populated countries by the 22nd century. 2100 is not far. People may look and say, oh, 2100, that is a long time away. No, if you do your math right, that is about 80 years from today. Okay, so in the next 80 years, we all know definitely that Africa was leading in terms of population boom. And we always thought this is going to happen within the next 30 years. But Lancet report came back with this wonderful study, and they said, no, the 5 most populated countries in the 22nd century is going to start with India. Okay, over 1 billion. Then secondly, is going to follow by an African country, Nigeria. Okay, followed by China, then USA and Pakistan. So what this report just shows is that there's a shift. Right now, the most populous nations are India and China. But you just notice that in the next century, the big economies, the big populations, is shifting to Africa. And why am I saying this? Because it's for your own benefit to understand. Because this report was published recently this month, July in 2020. And it also corroborates earlier forecasts which show that Nigeria, already is Africa's most populous country, will drive the boom in Africa. So you have to understand that we people of African descent, there is a trend. Something's happening. And that's why we have this show. You know, we're putting you on the spotlight today. So some of these questions are going to be thrown at you. So that way you can begin to think, activate some of those, those conscious thoughts, you understand, and ask some of these deep questions. Where are we going? So let's take a look at some of those findings. Which are those countries in the 22nd century that is going to have the biggest population? So I'm going to show you a quick table. Okay. So as you can see, I want to give thanks. The previous report and this, they are all from the Lancet report. Actually, this was put together by Quartz Africa. They actually did the visualization of the data. So we are very grateful for that, because by actually taking those data from that report and putting it in form of a chart and a table, it enables me to explain it better to you. You see? So 8 years from today, we can see that population is going to decline in China. And Nigeria is going to lead and be the second most populated country in 2100, behind India. This table shows that the African countries are going to lead the 22nd century in terms of population boom. This is very interesting. So we have to begin to, what are those countries? Nigeria is there, okay? Not only Nigeria being top 5, we also have other African countries who are going to pass that 100 million population mark. Okay, by the end of the 21st century. And at the beginning of the 22nd century, other African countries will lead that growth, such as Niger, as you can see on the chart, on the table, Chad, 2 of the continent's poorest nations right now. They will see the largest percentage increase in the size of their population. Then followed by DRC, Democratic Republic of Congo. We also see from being Africa's 4th largest country by population to being the 2nd. So Nigeria is going to be first, followed by DRC. This is very interesting. When I saw this report, I was fascinated. And like I said, thanks to Quartz Africa, the online news media and analytical site that actually put that into a meaningful table and bar chart. So the Lancet finding also suggests by 2100, up to 183 countries, we have what? Fertility rates lower than 2.1 births per woman. Do you know what that means? That 2.1 births per woman is considered the minimum rate required for generational replacement of the population. Remember, we grow older, and a new generation comes to replace that workforce. But what is happening is that out of 195 countries in the world, 183 countries are going to have fertility issues, which means they will not have enough to replenish the population. So where am I going with this report? So it means that this country will have older population than the younger population. The most extreme cases that we have this, based on this Lancet report, it's not my report, it's a Lancet report. These are specialists who went to spend time to dig into the data. Okay? They said that countries like Thailand, Japan, Spain, along with 20 other countries from Asia, Europe, and America will be hit the hardest. So why was this report done? It's fascinating. What is the purpose and benefit of this new report being published? I asked myself that question. But please, I'm not here to support any conspiracy theory, because on social media you hear all kinds of news that certain people are trying to depopulate Africa and all that. We are basing on fact. This is a Lancet report that came out recently. Yes, we know it was funded by Bill and Melinda Gates. You understand? They are philanthropists and they do a whole lot of support for Africa. And there's a disclaimer on this report, and it says the report stated that the funders, those who funded this report, which is Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, had no role in the study, design, data collection, data analysis, data interpretation, or writing of this report. Okay? So when I look deeper into the report, and I found out that the report's intent, what's the intent of the report? Why was so much money and people's time spent on coming up with this report? To look at all the countries in the world and see how fertility, mortality, and migration is going to impact the world. Okay? And how did they come out to see or come out with all this data? Understanding potential patterns in the future population level is crucial for anticipating and planning for changing age structures, resource, healthcare needs, and environmental and economic landscape. It's very important, because Africa is going to see a huge population boom. So African countries and governments need to start preparing for that. Okay? We can't continue to, we will not be self-sustaining. Africa has always supported the entire world. Okay? So we have to start focusing on the continent, and we in the diaspora, whether we like it or not, we have to play our part in this. Because when we leave, you understand, our descendants are going to ask this question: what did we do? Okay, we need to make the world a better place. It's our moral obligation. So it goes further to emphasize the Lancet report. Say, changing population size and age structure might have profound economic, social, geopolitical impacts in many countries. Okay, what is the interpretation of this finding? There's so many numbers and so many analyses and so many data in this report. The interpretation, okay, summary of the report suggests that continued trends in female education attainment. So women are becoming more educated, okay, in the Western world. Access to contraception, birth control pills will hasten the decline in fertility and slow population growth. Okay, a sustained total fertility rate, it's called TFR, total fertility rate, lower than the replacement level in many countries, including China and India, would have economic, social, environmental, and geopolitical consequence. There's going to be a shift in power. Okay? And one thing that was fascinating in this report was the recommendation. The recommendation says policy options to adapt to continue low fertility while sustaining and enhancing female reproductive health will be crucial in years to come. So I'm wondering, if there's population boom in Africa, there's decline in population in many of the Western civilized worlds, so to speak. Why are we talking about low fertility and being crucial? You understand? We would think that we should push for, replenishment. So as the older generations, get older and then, leave the earth, the younger population coming to replenish that. Okay, so we need to begin to speak to our leaders and say, what are these policies that is being recommended here? You understand? Is it for the entire world, or is it for this group of African nations that is going to see population boom? Okay, so please, let's going to support one another, and I really want you to ponder on this report, and please go to the website, the Lancet, or you just Google it. The report just came out, and I can give you the title of that report again. It's fertility, mortality, migration, and population scenarios for 195 countries. So go to the Lancet website, and you see that new report. Okay, guys. So what do you think? With all those data I just threw at you. So please do not be overwhelmed with those information. I'm not here to support any conspiracy theory. This is what the report came out with, and these are some of the recommendations and suggestions. And so please, we know that if we're going to see population boom, we need to be able to sustain that growth. Okay, this earth is big enough for everybody. We understand that fact. You understand? Because with the way the medical and technological advancement, you understand, we have longevity now in terms of our lifespan, and as a result of that, people live longer. And obviously, many nations of the world that used to have fertility issues, like in Africa, no longer have that issue now. Maybe it's God, maybe it's advancement in health, or maybe it's just that people want more kids. I don't know, but it shows that Africa is going to lead the population boom in the 21st century, which means into the 22nd century, 2100. So which means that these nations begin to think of how to enable infrastructures and develop their human resources, have more capacity and opportunities for these people. Otherwise, the burden is going to be too much on them. And this is why some of these recommendations are being thought about, controlling fertility. I think controlling fertility may be an option, but I personally think that there are so many other options that we can consider. China is not as big as the whole of Africa, and they are over 1 billion, and they have been able to, control that for a while now, and they're not doing bad. So I think that Africa can do better as well. And always, let's go back to the topic of today. Does Africa matter? It's very important that, sometimes we have so much division amongst ourselves, which is very, very painful. And I hear people talk about, different things about how the Chinese or South Asians, Italians and Jews and Russians are able to, cooperate and create wealth. And whereas in the black community, it's always division and negativity and all that. But one thing you have to realize that this nation that you compare with, they are one country. Africa is not one. Black. I always tell people, color of your skin is not your nationality. Okay. So when you talk about blacks are not cooperating or fighting, no. You know, we're not one country. We don't have a common language. One thing that these countries have, you know, the Asians, the Russians, the Jews, is, you know, it's cohesiveness. You know, they're cohesive. You understand? They have a common language. You understand? They are one country. They have policies that is applicable to that geographic location for the development of that. But when we talk about black, we talk about black as if it's a country. It's not a country. You understand? Africa is made up of so many countries. Apart from Africa, we have blacks in the diaspora, and apart from that, we have the Caribbeans as well. So please, guys, we need to begin to be our brothers' keepers and look for ways to encourage ourselves, develop ourselves, create opportunities for one another. And I want to say thank you so far for watching, and I want to share a video with you because I need to pose this question to you. This video is about 4 minutes long. Let's watch. Some of you may have seen it. For those who haven't seen it, you know, let's take a look at this video, and I'm going to give you context to this video as well. So we're going to play that video quickly, and let me see your reaction.
Studied everywhere we have been liberated, whether or not we were able to liberate ourselves from our own bondage. And it's a deep question. So study us as a people. This is not a criticism, it's a reflection. If you differ, I'm happy to share perspectives. But study us as a people. You notice that everywhere where we are in bondage, we are phenomenal at fighting for our liberation. Once we've received it, something goes wrong. And the mindset is pervasive. And it's pervasive, it's invasive, it's insidious. It's like a virus. And if you try and remove, you know, once a virus takes over a cell, it multiplies. And so the reason you can't remove the virus is the only way to kill it is to kill the host. That's where we are. So when a person amongst us does something, rather than celebrate, we ridicule. Rather than collaborate, we compete. Rather than support, we sabotage. I thought long and hard about why is this? Like it's been bugging me. And then I realized something. That whether it was apartheid, colonization, the Jim Crow laws in the US, all of those systems of oppression had one singularity in communication. They said to black people, only one. That's it. So in slavery days, there was only one house nigger. The rest of y'all worked in the field. When we negotiated for our South Africa, there was only Mandela at CODESA. All the other political parties had to sit and watch the ANC. When we got our liberation, there was only one Cyril at the board. Only one. So when a black person makes it, the rest of us go, shit, he's taken the seat. That's why we practice crabs in a bucket. We go, the only way I get that seat is if I'm Tatu Vosimbegala. We don't think multiplier. Make sense? So he's going, I want to make a supercar. Nobody's going, how do I make tires for a supercar? We all go, shit, now he's done it. I'm telling guys, this is my most honest reflection on, and I've thought about, do I make it do I share it on social media? I was just like, the time will come. This has felt right is the time. People will see this and I'll get slated for it, I'm sure. But I'm telling you now, I see it with me. The only people who attack are the people who want the seat. But here's what you're not seeing. I'm sitting where I'm sitting, and where I'm sitting, the system I'm fighting, if I get it right, opens for all of us. So, you know, it's the guy who fights Makosa. It's the guy who fights Tula Cindy. It's the guy who fights a Trevor Noah. What you don't recognize is what they are doing in their spaces makes it okay for us to be in those spaces. So don't fight Batu, fight Nike. Don't fight Makosa, fight Gucci. Do you get it? Like, it's all wrong, guys. the mindset is this thing. Hey, man, we must be here, man. My uncle always says, Ndonak, how nema dula oblanga tanto, how nema dula. Okay, cool. So the point I'm making, and so I don't want to get into the details of what happened in Venda, but let me put it to you this way. We got sabotaged. We went in, we got the land. I invested over 8 million rand building our hub. We went in local supplies. Everything in my hub was done by local people. The paving, the electrification, the fencing, everything. 8 million.
Yes. So guys, what do you think about that video? That's quite, I just had to share with you. Just before, for those of us that may not have context to that video, I'd like to share something about you. Who is this gentleman talking? Okay? And why is he talking this way? So I'm going to show you, this gentleman, I'll tell you a little bit about him. I'll show you who he is right now. So you can have, you see, that is Vusi Dempekwayo. He's a South African. Okay, and he's one of the richest self-made millionaires at his age. He's made his fortunes in many ways. One of those is public speaking. He uses, so giving context to this particular video is that Vusi actually used his money to fund the hub in one of the areas in South Africa, and the hub will be free for the community, and the intent is to teach fully accredited courses by University of Pretoria. And entrepreneurs will get a free workspace, state-of-the-art boardrooms, access to mentoring, business tools for accounting, CRM, and many others. Using his own funds, was his passion, because he has a couple of businesses now, venture capital ventures that is trying to invest in the African youth. And what happened? According to what he said in the video, so you can go back on YouTube and search for it. What happened is that even with his own funds, with his good intention, you know what happened? It was sabotage. It was sabotaged by fellow South Africans in positions of authority. So if you go back to the video and you check it out, you will see the full video. Because it's a bit long, we have to cut it so that way we can actually see some of those questions I wanted us to discuss. So what do you think? Are we hindering ourselves? Are we our own problems? Because to me, act of sabotage is very evident in our home countries and even in diaspora. We always try to sabotage ourselves because we see ourselves as the enemy. But a good point that I took from that video is I learned something. That equal opportunities are never created. Okay? There's always limited spot because we, people of African descent, are seen as minority. How can we be minority? You understand? Look at the projection of the population growth that is happening in the nearest future. Okay? Look at how we support the entire world. Not only with crude, minerals, precious stones. Okay? So if we come to look at ourselves as minority, and then now you are given a few positions, what's going to happen? A scarcity. People are going to fight for that position. Then we begin to sabotage ourselves. Okay? Because in my opinion, I just feel that scarce resources makes us, want to hoard. It makes people want to loot because it's not enough. So I have to keep for myself, my family. Okay? It's a selfish art. You understand? Because one thing you have to realize, human beings, we are not immortal. Okay? We come and go. You understand? And at the point in life, you see that material wealth is really irrelevant. And so we need to begin to realize this because it made a very valid point that why is it that few spaces are always created? You understand? There's an initiative going on in North America now, very good, because a lot of companies are beginning to realize systemic racism. You understand? But still yet, I read an article recently, one of the big banks, and they are trying to create spot for senior executive, and they are locating about 5% senior executive position, 5% senior executive position for black and indigenous people. What's going to happen that? A lot of people who, have not made that conscious, they've not opened their mind, they've not renewed their mind, you understand, may see that as competition. So now I've paid my dues. I'm in this position of authority now. I don't want somebody else or my kind, you understand, to take me off the spot. So I'm going to protect it with every means possible. You understand? This is ridiculous. And one thing I realized in the Caribbean and Africa, have you seen the budgets of some of these African countries? You begin to wonder, how are they able to actually run the country? How? For instance, in West Africa, Nigeria being one of the most populous nations in Africa, with over almost 200 million population. Do you know the budget for 2020? Let me shock you. In US dollars, it's about 35 billion for a country with close to 200 million people. Now let's go to the States. In the city of New York, with 18 million population, the budget, guess what? 89 billion. City of New York, 18 million population, 89 billion. You understand? So even with this scarcity, in many of these countries, we still see a lot of things that's not supposed to happen. You know, mismanagement of funds and all sorts. So please, when you get an opportunity, be it in career or business, support one another. Okay? In my place of work, I always look for opportunity to bring in, my fellow people of African descent. You understand? Because we are smart, we are intelligent, we are dedicated, we are committed. You understand? Recently, a report came out from the United States. One of the most educated people in America are Africans, and Nigerians for that fact. Okay? So we are very intelligent. People know this, you understand? So we should stop, looking at ourselves as minority and trying to, fit into that small space created. A lot of these multinational companies have made a lot of wealth, in Africa. You understand? I see no reason why to be giving such a small quota in the management position to these people. I don't even think we need that, because the more you relegate us, you understand, to that small numbers, the more we begin to compete with ourselves. You understand? And it just creates division. It's just not good. And I just want to encourage everyone. So please, you find yourself in your place of work, why not? You understand? Remember, black is not a nationality. Okay? Because you have a negative experience from a fellow person of African descent, you shouldn't categorize everyone like that. You understand? Someone gave you opportunity. I'm in the diaspora. I'm in Canada today. It was made possible by the sacrifices of those before me. Okay? Even in Africa today, many of the countries who are doing very well, who have been liberated from colonialism, was done by the sacrifices of people before us. And we, Africa, we export religion a lot. We are the biggest exporter of Christianity right now. And what if I was to tell you that, imagine that one of the rules to get into paradise, heaven, was the question, oh, you want to get into heaven? Tell me one thing you did for humanity. One thing you did for humanity. I'm not telling you how many souls you won, how many churches you built. One thing you did for humanity. And that is the criteria to get into heaven. How would we feel? So please, play your part. You understand? Each and every one of us has a responsibility to do that. And please, the most important thing is consciously make that effort to realize that the fellow African is not actually your enemy. Okay? If we have an economic goal, you understand? We have aims, you understand? And like I said, together we unify, we can even do much, much more. I've been blessed in IT by fellow Africans. I've been involved in projects whereby I tell recruiters, or I tell the managers or the HRO, look, I have a very intelligent, talented African, I bring him aboard, you understand? If he messes up, does that taint my image? I don't think so. His actions is applicable to him, not mine. Okay, my biggest competitor is myself. I need to be better. Okay, so guys, please, let's renew our mind. For those who are Christian, the Bible says what? Be transformed by the renewal of your mind. Make that conscious effort to understand where you want to go, to contribute your own quota to the development of the continent. Otherwise, we may not have a place to call home. Otherwise, when we grow old, we pass away, what will our descendants say about us? You understand? What will they say about our generation? So guys, last week we talked about what? Wealth creation. And this week we are talking about, does Africa matter? To answer that question, yes, Africa does matter. Right now, there's a trend, Black Lives Matter. Why? Because of the injustice, the suppression of the black lives in America. It's uncalled for. Why is that happening? You understand? But I always tell people, you understand? I won't tell you where you spend your money, okay? But invest in your own home. A house that is divided cannot stand, okay? I see no reason why me and you cannot build Paris in Africa. I see no reason why me and you cannot build Disney in Africa. You understand? I see no reason why me and you cannot build Dubai in Africa. You understand? We don't need to spend our hard-earned money in countries or companies that do not care about us or our community. Okay? Okay? I'm not against you spend your money where you like. You understand? But what I'm trying to say, make that conscious effort. You understand? Be renewed by the transforming of your mind. Educate yourself. You understand? Ignorance is not an excuse. So guys, I have been blessed immensely by this particular episode. I hope you'll be blessed as well. Like I said, send in your comments and questions, and we'll try our best to answer it during the show or after the show. So remember that you need to renew your mind. You need to change the way you think. You need to, if you have a bad experience in with an African person or person of African descent or business, you don't go to an Asian store and because they were rude to you or because you had a bad experience, you say, I'm never going to an Asian store no more. You still go. You may not come back to that specific store, but you go somewhere else. So because of the experience you have with one African person or a person of African descent or their business, you understand, you shouldn't generalize. I will not generalize the bad intentions of one European or an Arab or an Asian and say, oh, that's how all Arabs or Asian or Europeans are. No. So do not generalize. Do not become a label. You understand? We Africans need to unite. We are one people. Whether you're Caribbean, whether you're Black American or African American, you understand? Or as some people say, oh, I'm true African. I don't know what that means. You understand? People of Africa, every black person is an African. So guys, please, I want to say thank you for joining me so far, and it's been an amazing experience and journey throughout this show. I hope you've been blessed. Thank you so much. Remember, after the live broadcast, this video will be available on our YouTube channel at GBKM TV and Instagram as well. Please share it for those that will be blessed by it, and tell your friends back home. And remember, some of these leaders that we talk about who are not doing well, they're human beings. They're not robots. Okay, if you cannot reach them, maybe the first lady, their spouse. Talk to them. Maybe a commissioner, a mayor, a minister, a governor, whoever may be. They are human beings. They may be your classmate. They may be a family member. They may be your friend. Speak to them. You understand? We need to renew our mind. We need to start thinking, of ways to make Africa great, to make our home countries great. Let's develop our own. For those of us in diaspora, we've done amazingly well in the diaspora, doing so much thing for our communities here and for the country as well, be it in Europe, in Canada, or North America. So let's begin to reciprocate that back home. So thank you so much for being with me so far. I'm very happy. Remember, once again, you can join me next week for another amazing topic, amazing discussion. It's always 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's a 30-minute show. I don't want to take much of your time. So remember, you're always in the spotlight. The change you seek begins with you. Good night.
Host an entertaining, engaging, and thoughtful weekly show? Or are you a business person or entrepreneur interested in building a brand for yourself? Can you connect with an audience and have strong social media skills? If so, the GBKM Network would love to invite you to join our team. We're looking for driven, genuine folks who are willing to work hard as an independent broadcaster. If this sounds like you, come join our team. For more information, email your resume to career@gbkm.fm. That is career, CAREER, @gbkm.fm. It's time to turn your passion into